Poetic Justice here. I'm on an actual multiplayer server today, and I'm going to be giving a rundown of some of the factors in a multiplayer server that I don't think I've covered, and are very important because in a multiplayer server the community dictates a lot more. Like in the single player server, you could play the whole game, unlock everything, continue to progress, and everything's great. But in a multiplayer server, everything can go bad really fast, just because of a few systems and negative or positive feedback in those systems. And so one of the first things is the karma system, or the reputation system, if you will, and that's what it's called, the reputation system. You come to the place down here that's called objectives, and when you click it, you can see that I'm online. You can also see that other people are offline whenever there's no online next to their name. Now, some of these people have these little gold things next to their name. That just means that they've been there since the game was an alpha state, or that they purchased the game early. And I guess silver means that they purchased the game in beta, and I guess whenever the game goes somewhere else, it's going to be bronze. But anyhow, a lot of these people's names are yellow. And there's 3 different colors I've seen so far, but they play a very important role in essentially how you're going to get treated, even though it makes absolutely no sense why people judge based off of a system of numbers that is essentially, to some degree, imaginary, if you will. It's like a... Let me go ahead and give you an example. I'm going to give somebody, for no reason whatsoever, this guy here, I'm going to give him 1 karma, and our reputation, if you will, and I'm going to say, he's a very cool guy. Now, this guy just received 1 reputation. And so let's see if we can fix that. I'm gonna give him all my reputation. Now all of a sudden, his status changed from unknown to friendly. That's his reputation title. So next to your, when you go over here, you can see the reputation somebody has. Mine is unknown. I don't have any, there's no multipliers on here, and apparently you can, if you are the admin of the server, you can change the multiplier. But now, this guy's considered friendly. The problem with that is that nobody actually knows if I really gave him that because he's a cool guy. And in reality, he probably could be just like the worst guy in the world. But because I gave him some status in advance, and you've seen it firsthand, I just gave him reputation for fun, for no other reason. Now, there is a way to gain reputation in the game. It requires a contract board, which I currently cannot access because I'm on an actual multiplayer server, but let's see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find it on this. Nope, I can't. I can't find a contract, but here's the contracts right here in the economic viewer. There's none available. If you make a contract on a contract board, the more contracts you do, sometimes you can get rewarded a reputation for that. But normally what happens is it's really easy to lose reputation because you'll do something, you just mind your own business. All of a sudden somebody gets upset because they wish they had the land you had, or they wish they had the job you ended up mastering, or they wish they were as good as you were, or something, you know, just people who are very resentful, and instead of improving themselves, they would rather make everybody else not improve. And there's a lot of people who are like that. These people normally are the ones that choose to try to make somebody else mad when they are losing a game, so that the person who still beat them is angry. At least they got something on them, right? But in reality, they still suck at the game, and they had to do that because they had no skill. So these people, or if that's what you should call them, essentially end up creating this system where, and this is also one of the reasons why a lot of, and this might be not very popular with people when I say this, but why certain types of political ideologies don't really work. Because whenever it's people who are the judges and the lawyers, well, it doesn't really work out so well because they don't actually care about evidence. And that's what this system is. This reputation system is a non-evidence-based system. Now, what the system should be based off of, and this is what the developer's not going to do, is it should be based off of how many contracts people do. And if people want to, they should be given contracts and the opportunity to fulfill those contracts. And perhaps even the developer should make randomly generated server contracts that just appear, and people could choose to do them or not for karma. And that being said, if they want bad karma, maybe they should have the option to do contracts that will destroy the environment instead. But the system of currently for reputation is like this. If this guy's friendly, that I just made friendly, his title is friendly, people are gonna immediately act nice to him, as if he is friendly, even though he's probably no different than anybody else. It doesn't mean he's actually friendly. It just means that people are gonna assume that he's nice. That being said, if somebody has bad karma or bad reputation, people are gonna assume that those are bad people, and they're just going to treat them bad from the get-go. And there's no evidence. But, so those people were punished because somebody gave them a bad reputation, but they're punished by other people. It's kind of like this. Sticks and stones, can break my bones, but words can never hurt me. Well, in this case, the words are actually dictating how other people are going to treat that person. And most of the time, those people are no longer going to communicate with that individual just because they're going to immediately assume that it's a bad person. And sometimes admins will even just ban people from the server nobody likes just because they don't want them to be there if nobody likes them. That, by the way, is really stupid, but there's a lot of games out there that are like that. Even games that people like. Anybody can host a server in this game, and most of the time whenever people end up having to host servers and stuff like that, when problems like that come about, the servers eventually, or should I say, the community in this entire game is going to eventually have to deal with the bigger internal problem, and it might get as big as the developers getting directly involved with the player base, which would be a bad idea because it's just a reputation system. It shouldn't dictate the game as much. But anyhow, I thought I would go over that, but another thing I'd like to go over is two other things. Actually, whenever you're joining a server, the game developer forgot to add whether or not there is your passworded games appear on your list. And because there's no filter for passworded games, you don't know if a game's passworded. You end up trying to join. You end up having to refresh the entire list of every server online again every time you want to join a server. So, passworded games, like, the best way to find out if a game's passworded normally is to look at how many people or citizens on that server. If a server has about, I'd say 5-10 days, and there's less than, I'd say about 100 citizens, that it's probably a passworded game. And if it has a Discord, then you could probably go to the Discord and get the password. Now, people think that's going to somehow stop griefers or trolls. The only thing is, it really doesn't. And the reason why is because the reputation system has the potential to make somebody an artificial troll or griefer just because somebody felt like it. So right here is a contract board. And as you can see, there's no contracts on it. So we're going to go ahead and try to make a contract. It's going to be a custom contract, and it's going to have absolutely probably no influence on anything. A lot of people don't even look at contracts. Oh, for the payment upon completion, we're gonna see if there's... Nope, there's no mint on the server. So... anyhow, we'll just say... Well, it looks like I can't use this. Anyhow, basically I make a contract here. What I'll do is I'll just go ahead and try to make a contract. Looks like I bugged the game. Oh, nope, here it is. So we want somebody to... we'll just make a custom one. And if they dance, then I'll pay them... So right down here, you can see hours to complete, reputations. Now, designates how many times people can claim this contract before it's no longer offered. 0 means unlimited. So I guess reputation isn't really reputation like I thought it was. And you have to name your contract. So we're gonna go ahead and name our contract Dance. And it's not gonna be an auto accept. And so there you go, this is how you post a contract. You can make it any clause you want, to where you could say anything you want custom, but you have to manually give people permission to do certain things. And if somebody actually is going to do what you want them to do, they're going to have to accept the contract. You're going to get a message on your screen that says they accepted the or that they want to accept the contract. And you can choose to accept that they accepted it, so that you and them can work together. And when they complete it, they have to say they completed it. You have to agree that they completed it, and they'll be paid or whatever it is that you plan to do. Give them reputation or whatever. That being said, you can also give people these claim flags, which I don't know if that's a good idea, because you only get 140 total in this game throughout the entire game if you research everything. That being said, another thing is deposit. Whenever somebody wants to do a contract, they can deposit money, meaning that they pay you to ask your permission to do the contract. And I guess that could be a good idea for certain types of contracts, as a form of insurance to make sure they're not going to troll you. And if you put a deposit on a contract, people probably aren't going to pick it up, because you can end up taking their deposit if it's a custom contract. But if it's not a custom contract and it's not auto-accept, and it is auto-accept, they don't have to worry about that. They can just take the contract, do it, and you never have to say that they completed it, because the game will assume they did. But if you customize it, then that can create problems, and so that's whenever you would put that they have to deposit money first before they're going to get any money in return on the contract, and that's the only reason you would do that. And I think that's about covers what we're going to talk about for now. But I really hope that the severity of what reputation can do on a server is understood, because a lot of people, they're taught sticks and stones can break your bones, but words can never hurt you. And the thing is that words can actually make other people hurt other people, even if you said them and you have you're not the one doing the hurting, and that's why you should still not use your words, you see, or should I say the reputation system, in a negative manner, or even a positive manner. Because people end up getting with their friends, and they do what the circle jerkery thing, where they all say that they all are the best people in the world to each other, and in reality they're actually just trying to game the server. It's a very big exploitable system, and it's used in many games that have a karma system, and it also leads to people who are horrible hosts, horrible admins, etc., doing whatever they want. And thanks for watching.